Hi guys, welcome back. Look at this. Look, granny stitch blanket, you guys. Now this is what I'm lovingly calling the granny stitch lines blanket. So what I'm doing is I'm alternating colors every 3 rows. So I'm doing 3 rows of the green, then 3 orange, and then back to 3 green again. And it's going to be a nice size throw, I think. Really difficult to see it all, but you get the gist. I am working on a throw blanket. This is blanket number 3 that I'm working on technically. And I have all 3 of them going pretty much all at the same time. Because that is what I do. So I thought, look, y'all are not going to get a great camera view of everything, like of the stitches, but you should hopefully at least be able to see a little bit, at least, while I'm sitting here just chit-chatting with you. So I figured today, what a good day to start, well, not start, but what a good day to work on this blanket. That's what I'm trying to say. Goodness gracious. It is a rainy day here in Texas, which is fine. I don't mind rain when I don't have to drive in it. But I thought I would just sit and work on this blanket today. I can't wait for this one to grow more. It's currently, as of this round anyway, it is sitting right at 15 inches tall right now. It's not much. I haven't done that much work on it. But to be fair, I just started this. Gosh, I think it's been a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks ago. And to be fair, I really only worked on it on two days during that time frame. So we took 3 of our dogs to the vet for their teeth cleaning. And first of all, let me just say, you have to have them there bright and early. They tell you drop off is at 7 a.m. The doors don't even open till 7:30, and the vet doesn't get there until 8. So why do I need to be there by 7 a.m.? Like, what kind of sense does that make? It's not like they take you in the order that you're lined up at the door. They literally open the door. Well, the store door opens at 7:30, and the first couple of Banfield people are there, but they don't start signing you in or anything like that until 7:30. So anyway, goodness gracious, went off on that tangent. So we took all 3 of our female dogs to the vet for their teeth cleaning that morning. And I had a lot of hours I had to sit and wait before they were released to come home. They had 3 of them to do for us, plus someone else had 1 that was getting done. Thankfully, they took our 3 first, which was great because, again, having 3 of them with you, kind of a pain. But we got there right at 7. No, we got there at 6:30 and had to wait. They show up, open the front door at 7:30. We go in, get signed in and everything, and we didn't leave there. This is no joke, you guys. We didn't leave there until 2:30 in the afternoon. 2:30. Like, hello. That is way too many hours. Now, I live too far away from the vet's office to just turn around, come home, go back to bed, get some sleep, go back over. I live too far away for that. So we had to make a day of it instead of making the trip back home. So we ended up spending all those hours away from home. Now, let me tell you, there's nothing open that time of morning around here except Walmart. Walmart, y'all. Like, look, I'm not any different than most. I shop at Walmart. It's fine. But I don't want to go and blow an hour, hour and a half's worth of time before I can go to the next place. I just don't. By the end of the day, this bee was just done, man. I was so done. I could not stand to walk anymore. My feet were, well, I have an issue with my left ankle. Every few steps, my ankle will try to pop. The problem for me is that when it pops, sometimes it breaks, and that's not fun. It doesn't feel well. Like, literally. So I spent the day with my ankle in pain because it was doing its best to try to break, and I was trying to baby my ankle so that it wouldn't do it. Meanwhile, I'm up having to walk around, having to find something to do to keep myself busy. Eventually, Barnes & Noble opened, and this was at 10 o'clock, I believe. I think. So at 10 o'clock, we go to Barnes & Noble. We go in. We find us a nice little table in the cafe inside Barnes & Noble. And my daughter grabbed a book, and she sat and she read. And I pulled out my crochet. And I started working on this throw blanket. And I worked on it for probably about maybe 2.5 hours. And then I put it away, and I needed to go out to my van and just sit, relax. Those chairs in that cafe are not comfortable. So I sat in the van for a little bit, probably another 30 minutes before my daughter came out. And then we went back to Banfield and probably not quite so impatiently waited. I was like, look, y'all told me like an hour and a half ago that the third that you had finished was awake, out from underneath the anesthesia. I'm ready to go home. So let's figure this out. So they did try to get them out as quickly as they could, but they have their rules, and of course, and they have to keep them for so long after being given anesthesia to make sure that the dogs don't have a reaction. And I understand it. I was just tired and a little on the grumpy side because I had to get up at dark 30 to go to the vet. That's not my favorite thing to do. Anyway, so today I figured I would pull this out and get back to work on it again because I haven't really picked it up in about a week. I have, however, been trying to accomplish the ending of the, well, I just totally did way more than I was supposed to. So let's frog that one. That's what happens when I'm not paying attention. I add a stitch. It's fine. Okay, frog tooth, put one back in. There we go. Pay attention here, Bee. Now I'm going to probably struggle with keeping this up on my desk because this is not how I crochet. It's almost always just in my lap. But I know you guys can't see it as well when it's in my lap. I wanted to make it so that you could at least see what I'm doing, even if only a little. So this is the first time I have done a granny stitch blanket. Now, I did accomplish the first granny square blanket. I finished that one. Working on the second one. That's over here. That's on the next video because I've got to show you the progress I've made on that one. But this one is the first of its kind here in the quiet place because I've never done it before. And this yarn that I'm using is the yarn I got from Dollar Tree. Well, it's in here somewhere. Sorry about that. This yarn I got from Dollar Tree. It's those big balls that they have every now and then that they get. Like once a year, I believe they get like a green and an orange and a off-white, I think. And I bought a few of them, mainly for my daughter. And I kept like 3 skeins of each color in my yarn store for future work. Because when I bought these, I was still not able to use a weight 4. So I pulled these out after working with the Karen anniversary cakes because it's a weight 6, but in my hands it felt so much smaller than that, but it is acrylic. And so I thought, well, that went well, so let's try the 4. And I started working with this, and I was like, I want a blanket out of this now. Because that's what Bee does. Bee makes blankets the most. Because I love blankets. And when you find something that you really truly like to make, you just naturally gravitate back toward it. So that's what Bee does. Guys. Now you will notice every few minutes I stop. Maybe every few stitches. I'll stop for a minute. Y'all, seriously, take care of your hands because you will suffer from carpal tunnel issues, or what is it, orbital tunnel, I believe is the name of the other kind of carpal tunnel. You will suffer from one of the other if you're not careful and treat your hands well. So I do my little stretches. Have to really stretch your hands because if I don't, the pain gets too much. I don't know about for you guys. counting my stitches to make sure I'm doing the right number. Because that's another thing that I don't do whenever I'm actually crocheting is I don't count my stitches. Y'all already know that. We've already talked about that in a video before. So I won't bore you to death with that story again. I have my yarn ball, my yarn skein down on the floor in a basket. So if you see me pulling from over there, you'll understand why. I have no room on this desk of mine. Even though it's a large desk, I have no room to put that yarn basket. And that's what it is. It's a yarn basket, y'all. That's the only thing I use it for. You guys, leave me a comment down in the comments. Let me know. Does my rambling ever really get on your nerves? Because sometimes I think it gets on everyone's nerves because it gets on mine sometimes. I'm a rambler. I can't help that. Oh, I was... Y'all, this is hilarious. I'm going to mention this. And it's not because I don't appreciate each and every person, because I absolutely do. But I was looking at some of my YouTube analytics today, and I got the biggest kick out of it because I was looking at the search terms that people search on YouTube and come across my videos. You guys. I don't know what YouTube is thinking when they put my thumbnails on people's feeds or in search results. My videos have been lined up with Skittles Wildberry. So somebody literally searched for Skittles Wildberry on YouTube and was shown my thumbnail. What? I didn't make a video about Skittles. I didn't even make a video about Wildberry. What? But that's not even the worst. That's that's a funny. I have been shown to people who have searched for the term Sesame Street. Okay, I get it. I'm a crazy character. What? I'm not Elmo. I love you guys. I don't care what you search for. I appreciate the fact that you click on my video at all and watch any of it. So please don't take offense to that if you were the one who happened to have watched after searching for how to throw a basketball. I don't know, you guys. I don't know. Sometimes I think YouTube may be a little delirious. Oh, and yeah, the ends are, of these blankets are where I normally go, what? What am I doing here? Because I do them a little different. Or feels a little different or a little wrong. I don't know. Okay, we can turn this. And now I'm going to move it down to my lap because it's just too long. And I need to be able to get to the side. I don't know if you guys noticed. I'm not using stitch markers, which I almost always. But look, it's so straight, which makes me so happy because I have come a long way from when I couldn't make any of my sides even remotely look like it could possibly be straight. So bad in the beginning. And that's why I like to always try to remind all of you who may be watching, when you first start with crochet, it's not going to be pretty. You won't have issues. But eventually, your issues aren't really going to be an issue anymore. And you're not even going to realize right away how much it changed and at what point it changed. You're just going to be like, oh, I don't need to use stitch markers every row now. Or, hey, I'm not using stitch markers at all now. Now, don't get me wrong. I still use stitch markers, you guys. I do. I'm not in this particular blanket just because it's easier to tell with this yarn where my last stitch is. But I'm also still working on that pastel blanket that you and I started. And on that one, I'm still using stitch markers on my ends. Start a row, end a row. Because that blanket, want the edges perfect. Because that's what I do. I can't wait to pick up that other granny square blanket here for tomorrow. Will probably be tomorrow's video. But I'll be recording that here in a little while, actually. Guys, I was so scared to death when I first started crocheting about working on granny stitches because they looked too complicated and I didn't understand how you make each one. It was terrifying. So for the longest time I didn't. And recently with the first continuous granny square blanket, that throw blanket that I made, I fell in love with the granny stitch. Whether it's a granny square or it's the granny stitch lines. Either way, for those of you who don't know, like I didn't in the beginning, your granny stitch is simply just a cluster of 3 double crochets in one stitch. That's it. Really not hard or confusing. The most confusing part, excuse me, for me was how to do my corners on the granny square. But once you get that down, okay, well, you just chain in between your granny cluster. It really wasn't difficult. Once you get that part down, it's so easy. And by the time you get partway into a blanket with it, you're just like, yeah, I know exactly what I'm doing now. And it feels really silly to tell you guys that because I'm sure most of you have started granny square blankets or hats or scarves or whatever with granny stitches. And you guys have probably been doing it for years. Meanwhile, Bee's over here like, well, I just learned this stitch and it's the best. But you know, you get excited about all the little things, right? And this one has just made me happy. And then I had to, make 2 more blankets with it because that's how much fun it's been for Bee. Which is completely silly. All right, you guys, I've rambled to you long enough. I'm going to let you go because I know you have more things to do in your day. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being patient with my rambling. Until next time. Bye, y'all.